Hello and welcome to another episode of Vanilla City Skylines, where we are building out the city of Oakhaven. In our last episode, we worked on building out this little fishing marina to supply out our first industrial area, as well as building out this second neighborhood. And last episode, I briefly mentioned an asset that I was really trying to help spawn, and it would be this asset right here is one of them. I think there's another one that I really liked right here. These two assets. But it's still really annoying that the University City content creator pack does not come with a district style. And even in the video that creator released on the City Skylines channel, he talked about, oh, here's this mod that you can use so that you can get these assets to spawn in one district. No, I don't understand for the life of me why Paradox would allow that to release like that, because not everyone plays with mods. Oh well. But getting off my soapbox, in today's episode, we are going to work on building out a large medical facility that has almost nothing to do with me being sick for the last 3 weeks. Almost. So we've unlocked pretty much everything except for the high-capacity hospital and the crematorium. And what is this? The sauna? Yeah, they don't need that. Yoga garden, we don't need that. So I'm thinking, and I've been going back and forth on where I want to place this. If I want to place this over here, if I want to place this in this weird spot. And I think I'm going to go with this spot over here. I think this is just a better place to put it. So what I'm going to do, just right off the bat, is I know this road, it's going to flow into what will be our downtown area. Maybe it's going to have skyscrapers. Maybe it won't. I really have not decided. But we are going to go ahead and prep this road to head out that way. And thinking, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the hospital. This will be the main hospital building. Place it right here, just temporarily. It's not going to stay on that road forever. I'm going to take 2-lane road with grass. I'm going to box around this hospital. Connect in here. Connect in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this. And I think we might... Let's see what we can fit in this space. We can come to our level 1 unique buildings. I think Lazarette Plaza will fit nicely here. Just as a little extension. I'm going to come behind it just with our standard vanilla path. Connect that in. And let's come behind it with a couple of oak trees. I think that looks nice to start out. So now let's continue out with this road frame. And what I'm thinking is, this is going to be a really awkward intersection right here, but it'll be fine. Let's go ahead, and before this generates too much traffic, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the traffic light and make this a one-way system. And it's going to be a one-way flowing towards the hospital. And on this side, we want it one way going away from the hospital. So let's see what else we can throw in here. Child Health Care Center would be fantastic to have. I think we can fit it right here. And again, we're going to come in with some vanilla paths. Let's turn off road guidelines, because those are really, really annoying. And maybe we can come in and just fence this off. Because I don't think we're going to get much out of trying to put any paths along this Audrey Boulevard. I think that is about as close to straight as we're going to get for that. Let's come in, let's see, what options do we have? Maybe a pine tree, a couple conifers, just a touch of vegetation around it. Some rocks. I think that'll work for a nice small amount of detailing. We can do it similarly here with just 3 of the vanilla conifer trees. Very nice. On this side, what we're going to do is drop down a second wing of the hospital so that there are 2 buildings for the hospital. Let's turn everything back on except for road guideline. We can box that in nicely right there. I think we can also create a secondary loop right here. In this space, what we're going to do is we're going to come and have just a medical clinic that's going to serve as the urgent care for the hospital. Which a lot of, well, actually, I don't know if it's a lot of hospital complexes. I know the one nearest to me has something like this, where you have an urgent care followed by one main hospital and a secondary hospital close by it. Although I think the secondary hospital may be a women's hospital. I'm not entirely certain. And let's not forget about elder care. Let's see, where do we want to place this? Maybe this... I mean, this is where it, like, actually literally fits, but... we'll see. I don't think that's too bad of placement. Maybe we can try to connect this into our existing road network. Let's actually have some road guidelines so that we can get that a little bit cleaner. I think that'll work. So now let's come around with a fence. That does not want to be straight, that's fine. That is totally fine, we will make it work. I think, well, we could actually, you know, as much as I'm trying not to make this city too reliable on cars, it's an American city after all, but there's not much we can do about that. But we're trying not to be so car focused, and I think that will set us up later on. So let's go ahead and get ready for some parking lots, which means that we get to play whack-a-mole for a little bit. And that's fine. Oh, right, I forgot. Might want some water over here. Seems to be the thing that I like to forget the most. And we'll get rid of most of these as they come in. Everyone is upgrading. Ooh, here's another one of the University City assets that I really like. One that I would love to have spawn in, but it's not. Because I can't control that. And I did try to create my own district style. But unfortunately, you can only add custom assets to those kinds of styles, which is really unfortunate. But just because there's so many vanilla assets that are good, and so many that are absolutely disgusting. Like this one is vomit-inducing. This one from University City is pretty. And now it's historical. And now you're historical. Which there's not really a lot of variation in these, which... I really feel like City Skylines needs to come out with like a mansions pack. Because right now the best we can do on mansions are these early American hotels. When we could have something like this. Or where's another good one? I don't know if... Maybe I never let that one spawn in, but there's one that we saw in Minoqua Bay that is absolutely stunning. I think it's I want to say it's a 4x4 level 5 asset, I think is what it is. I can't remember, but you know, it was also a really, really good looking asset that would be great as a mansion pack asset. But we'll see. Oh, that fits in there perfectly, but I don't know if I want the Statue of Industry over here. What other options do we have? A hypermarket? Or what about... Let's see. Ooh, a graveyard. That would go... Well, if I had spaced that out correctly, it would go perfectly, but I didn't do that. How about maybe a sports hall? The swimming pool right next to it. And we once again can come in with our favorite vanilla path. And a few oak trees. Yeah, that doesn't look too horrible. What we need to do, just looking at this, we need something right here. what I'm thinking is we're going to come behind right there and right here. Let's come onto road length. So let's say about here's where that's going to start. That's not too awful. And maybe this should go here. I'm thinking is where that should be. So let's also get rid of that and bring this a tiny bit closer. And then box around the second wing of the hospital. And continue Americanizing this area with more parking lots. Like this one. Let's see. I'm not thinking that this road needs to continue on, so what we can do is we can go ahead and curve that in. Let that come into the hospital complex. Aw, it's so close. What we're gonna do is have that one come around like that. So now let's figure out what our one-way system looks like. So you need to go this way. And I wonder, what else can we... Maybe a medical helicopter depot? Which actually is not going to cause any noise pollution. That's always a good sign. Let's make this terrain look less disgusting. As much as we can. We may not be able to get a whole lot out of it. And that's... well, we're going to pretend like that's fine. We're good at pretending over here. So let's... Actually, I wonder, what if we took a park life path? And that kind of makes it seem like it's being built into the terrain. Which is a nice touch, I think. We'll come around here as well with a park life path instead of a vanilla path. I think I like that look better. Here we're gonna use a vanilla path again. And then come in just like that. And spawn all the wrong assets. That's fine. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play whack-a-mole off camera, and we will be right back. Alright, so now we have all of our parking lots in, and I'm thinking that maybe we can squeeze in another neighborhood right here that might help get us to 7,000 in population, I believe is our next goal. Yeah, 7,000. So let's come in and check and see what this grading looks like. Oh, it looks awful. What a surprise. Let's kind of come in and we'll just kind of use our slope tool to kind of mess with this and see what we can get. Maybe make it look a little bit smoother. Kind of soften it out a little bit. Because we don't want to have these really gnarly tiers happening. And over here, we can keep it pretty much even with the road, I think. So let's come in. We're going to use our bicycle lanes with grass median. Just kind of continue this out. Maybe up to there. Why is that so awful? Oh, actually, I remember why that's so awful. So, we're getting that fractured zoning because of where this ended up being placed. And there's really nothing we can do about that. So, what we're going to do instead is come find some road guidelines over here that we can maybe use. That can be one. How far out were we going? Going up by 9? I'm thinking what I'll do is we'll come and have this mirror this collector road that we've got. Might be about as good as we're gonna get that. Now we're going to... God, that's awful. We're gonna do our best to get this grid to happen. And it's a slightly different grid than what we used over here in our 9 squares. We're using just what my standard grid typically is, which is, I believe, 11 by 20. Believe would be the measurements there. Have one right here. Let's turn on road guidelines. Merge that in there. Merge that in there. We'll probably use a freeform here. And then use curve tool to get that in. And now we're going to work on blending this into this hospital grid that we have. Let's come out a little bit shorter. Let's come out by 18 here. So that we're not having such a, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't want this grid to be too uniform. We'll go with that word. It's not the one I'm looking for, but we're gonna go with it. But we definitely want to have some kind of variation, I think. Maybe is another word we're going for. That could work. We really don't need that. And I think here what we can do is we can really just kind of focus on decorating out this coastline. So now let's come and paint out a district. Ooh, forgot about you. Gonna do this. The American. Well, I don't know. Do I want to do the American style cul-de-sac, or do we want to set this up for a bridge? I think let's set this up for a bridge, because this could potentially be a valuable connection into our downtown area. Potentially. Or, other option, weave this down around to kind of mirror the coastline. We're going to cut in about right there. Yeah, that'll work. So now let's think about services for this area. We're definitely going to need an elementary school. So let's go ahead and carve out an elementary school park. Whoops, not that. We want the small playground. You can flank it on either side. And then, what do we think about maybe a dirt path? That's about as close as we're gonna get that. I wonder, can we squeeze this over one more? Yes, we can. Just kind of come over here. Not really worrying about where those paths are going. Just kind of freely connecting them in. And we are eventually going to need another high school. And I think I want to have an Institute of Creative Arts, maybe? Maybe we can have that be over here across the river. But I don't really like the way this high school looks, to be honest with you. So what if we do high school here, and then a basketball court or two, but a basketball court and a tennis court. Let's take a park life path. Kind of come around all of that. And we're gonna hook this in over here into that. And around over here. I think that'll be very nice. Yeah, let's not do it this way. These fences are always so finicky. Especially when they're curved. But I think that will work for that. Why do you exist? There we go. Let's come back off all of the snapping. Let's see if we can make this happen. Nope, I cut that way too soon. Come on. Quit being so finicky. The distance is not too short. Oh well. Guess what we can do here is see if we can connect this in right here. And that'll work just fine. We'll decorate that out later. So with these grids right here, we're gonna want to come through with a path just because we need to fill out this extra space that we have, and that's gonna be the easiest way to do that. Alright. So now let's paint out our district. Be right alongside this hospital, and wow, I am not doing this straight at all. But, you know, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Just gonna follow around all these roads and then color it in. Now, I do not like this name of Valley Heights. It's just too contradictory. Because a valley would be low elevation. So I don't know where we're getting heights from. But what we're going to do is... And ignore this University City thing. It's not... Well, actually, is it going to spawn anything? Let's see. Yeah, no, it's not. And I do need to actually go in and delete that, because I was, like I said, I was trying to find a way to get the University City assets to, like, actually spawn, and that didn't happen. That did not happen. Not even in the slightest. And they're probably going to want water. They're so needy. Oh, so very needy. Alright, let's get that over there. The power should be sinking through. At least I hope it is. If not, oh well. It's not the end of the world. Alright. So now let's continue out zoning. We'll see how close we can get to that population milestone, and I don't think we're going to be too worried about the zoning here, to be honest with you. We'll have some nice waterfront properties. Some properties that are a little bit more, you know, we could probably give this area a nice little forest. Just because this map is very, very much a forestry map. That's just the nature of the beast. Let's come here, just because I don't want there to be a lot of noise generated by the commercial zoning. So we're going to go with organic and local produce. And just kind of zone around here. That can be a pocket of zoning, that can be a pocket of zoning. This can be a nice little shopping center. Oop, and I forgot water. I always forget these stupid water pipes. Let's get all that sink through. Alright, everyone should have water. Almost everyone should have water. I didn't zone over there, so that should be fine. Why did... Oh, that's why. Let's extend this zone a little bit then. Alright, so they're just complaining about not having enough workers. That'll fix itself. As soon as all of the residential zoning finishes coming in. Just like I said, over here in this area, we're not particularly worried about what the zoning actually looks like. Just trying to get it to kind of come in. It's really all we're worrying about. And let's see, how much residential zoning do I have left to spawn? Maybe over here a little bit as well. But yeah, like I said, that'll gradually happen. And also off camera, I decided to kind of experiment with some of the smaller Japan content creator pack stuff that I don't typically use. So I added the Oriental Market, the Noodle Restaurant, and a small office building. And then just kind of framed it around with some paths. I'm thinking, not entirely sure what I'm going to do with our next episode, but I think next episode we're going to come over here and start working on the forestry industry. And we're definitely going to have all of these buildings, but the one building that we're going to make sure to avoid is the pulp mill, just because I feel like it's just too big and too industrial. And we're going for more of an old town kind of feel, and hopefully we can also get to where we have trains available. That's a big thing that I want to have happen, so that we don't have this giant bottleneck of truck traffic, and we can really start building out the train infrastructure, since we haven't really blown up the city as much as we did in Minoqua Bay, which was a little bit of a hindrance, in my opinion, to getting our train infrastructure, because we expanded it way too quickly. What are we complaining about? We're complaining about not enough workers, not enough workers, not enough workers. Like, I don't understand why it's saying, okay, we have not enough workers, but there's more demand for commercial zoning than there is for residential zoning, which the residential zoning would fix the problem. But hey, what do I know? Oh, right, that's why we did that. That nasty looking zoning. But yeah, let's come over here for a little bit. Just see how things play out. We'll come in with a couple of oak trees around this side. A couple of oak trees right here. Maybe start playing around with this horse chestnut that we kind of fell in love with over in Minoqua Bay. Maybe some of these flowers. Just kind of sporadically throwing them around. I think that gives this area just a little bit more life. But one thing I do want to do that I just don't like the way this looks with those giant trees in the center. I think it looks much better with these maple trees. Or is that what they are? Yeah, sugar maple. So I'm gonna come down this way and change all of that to be sugar maples rather than the generic pine tree. I think that helps to clean up the look a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, you can come all the way over here and you can see just how dense the forestry is, especially with these boreal pines. Very nice. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump into some detailing, and we will be right back. And potentially we will hit 7,000 in this detailing, but we will see. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe below. This hospital complex, I think, turned out pretty nicely. And I'm really enjoying this little neighborhood, followed by this dense forestry, followed by a rocky coastline. Very, very rocky coastline. And I'm still kind of undecided on what I want to do with this last little strip of land. We might think about making it a red light district, or we could and probably will carry out this rock and forestry coastline kind of vibe for that particular area. But we also we definitely want to think about how we're going to incorporate trains, which I think we're going to have a train line come this way. So a passenger rail that's going to come this way and feed over here into where we have our downtown, or maybe we have our downtown over here. I don't know. I haven't decided. And we'll definitely have a cargo line come over here into our forestry area to service this. And we definitely I'm definitely going to start thinking about, what kind of factories we want to have. And I'm thinking the ones that we're definitely going to use are the furniture factory, the bakery, probably household plastic. I haven't decided on that one. I definitely want to have the toy factory and the printing press. Those are definites ones to have. Clothing factory we could have. Petroleum refinery we're not going to be able to have just because we're not going to do an ore industry in this particular city. Soft paper, maybe. That I feel like that one's just too industrial. Car factory, not going to happen. Food factory, we're definitely going to look at. Sneaker factory, we could do. Could we? No, we won't be able to do that one. And we won't be able to do that one. So, yeah, we'll definitely think about, where we're going to have those as well, because we want all of those goods to get shipped by rail to whatever these factories are. And we'll have, kind of some warehousing pockets around those areas. As soon as we are able to get rid of this ugly starting industrial area that is definitely just a placeholder. That is definitely all it is. And we're definitely going to also look into revamping the interchange and figuring out, how exactly we want to incorporate the highway into this build. Maybe this could be an interchange and we feed this way, but I don't really like the idea of having a highway cut through the city. At least this kind of a city. We definitely don't want that to happen. But yeah, I think that wraps up today, and enjoy a brief city tour.